What's up, everybody? Circus here, coming at you with this week's Rye Report. I brought Ryan here because he likes being here for the Rye Report. One time I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring Kamel, and he's like, that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could call it the Rye Report, but then we'd have to change identities. I think that'd be a problem with our families.
Yeah, it'd just be
I
odd.
just don't see it happening.
Yeah, so it's just easier to bring Ryan instead of messing
yeah,
everything up.
yeah.
All right, so this week, been a crazy week, I think. Onomats, they're on the screen right now. They destroyed, just absolutely destroyed everybody this week.
Yeah, what did they win? Like 7 out of 10 tournaments or something?
Yeah,
like
7 out of 10 tournaments. We've never seen a deck dominate that much before. Even like Shiranui back in the day.
I think they even have. Wasn't the point differential like 50 points?
55 points. Yeah.
What was Noble Knight, like 40 something, or was it?
Yeah, it was like 40. So I mean, this one is just
so
the
I'm pretty
biggest
sure this
gap.
is a new record. Just destroying everything in terms of a point differential.
And we can kind of see their big change on the screen right now, going into the Exabeetle, into the Rhino bus.
Straight Rhino bussin'. Oh my lordy.
And,
no, it's pretty crazy, because I remember when we were talking about the box review initially, when I was reading over the cards on stream, and I got to Exabeetle, and everyone was screaming Onomat support, and I was like, oh, I mean, I guess so. And then I don't remember who it was, but someone in chat was like, yeah, ignore that card, just look at Rhino Bus, because we're going to step right into it from that. And I was like, oh, you guys are messed up. That's so messed up. How could you? Oh,
there it is. Yeah, Digital Bugs in the meta now.
Yeah,
I love it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
No, it's I still think that the meta, I kind of talked about this in another Rye report. It might have been the last Rye report, I don't remember. Where I basically said that there's no best deck. It's every deck is just, if one deck becomes too strong, another deck will kind of step in to counteract it.
Maybe not rock, paper, scissors, maybe not triangle format, but something like that.
Yeah,
right?
Something similar to that, where it's like, because we saw in the GG Tour tournament, which was our largest tournament of the week that went into the power rankings, Onomats made top 4, and then boom, Fire Kings, and they're like, oh yeah, we like suck versus Fire Kings, and Rhino Bus doesn't do anything to Rhino. In fact, Rhino Bus makes the matchup worse. Like, I wish I had my Bowser instead,
right? Because you're destroying it by card effect, and then,
you don't want to be destroying it. So they got absolutely demolished in the top 4 of that tournament. But as we all know, Fire Kings died because of Gaia, and Gaia didn't top that tournament. So
we might see we might see like
the Fire Kings are to destroy the Onomats. That's just how it is.
So we might see like an influx of Fire Kings to take out the Onomats. Then Fire Kings are on top, and then Gaia comes back in.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, I look at this and I look at what happened in Noble Knights. They were unstoppable, and then all the Desperado players said, "Hey, let's play Quarantine." Like, fuck it, we don't like light monsters anyway.
Right.
And then that pretty much sealed the deal. Noble Knights, they warped the meta, but they ended up pretty much not being that tier 0 deck anymore. You can say that Onomats had a tier 0 performance last week,
right?
But I think in terms of power level of the decks, I think I think we'll probably see more back row decks. We're going to probably see more hand trap decks, because the finals was Fire King, Thunder Dragon. Both of those are hand trap decks,
right? That
ended up just breezing by the Onomats because there was no Gaia the Fierce Knight, right? So that's really what it came down to. And if there's a bunch more back row decks instead of hand trap decks, then Harpy Ladies is going to rise up. And if Harpy Ladies rises up, then there's going to be Resonators, and then it's just like an endless cycle. It feels right now, because all the decks are very similar in power. That being said, if we have another week of total Onomat dominance, and they're just not able to adjust to it, Fire Kings just are unable to play because there's too many Gaias, and they end up losing to all of them, and the Gaias end up losing to the Onomats. Then at that point, we can maybe start looking at the meta and say, are we in a tier 0 meta? I mean, the Onomats 2 weeks in a row, 50 plus differential, 40 plus differential. So really, it just kind of comes down to what happens in this next week, maybe 2 weeks, with the game. But
we just saw
Onomats are very powerful right now.
Yeah, we just saw them get wrecked by a TTH.
Yeah.
And now the Resonator player is just going off. So I mean, it's not like they're completely indestructible.
Yeah. It's not an oppressive deck like Dark Lords or Sabers or Cyber Angels, the actual tier 0 metas that we've had in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
but it is a very powerful, definitely a tier 1 deck. But at the same time, right now, if I had to, in terms of just raw deck strength, right, I would say Onomats is just a little bit better than everything, but it still has very clear cut counters. But cut counters also have clear cut counters. So if it's enough, Automats may just continue being the best deck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we just I just kind of want to see what happens this week with all the tournaments, and then this week we'll also have MCS attached to it as well with side decks. So there's going to be a lot of information that we can go into next week's Rye Report. But as of right now, Automats, they did very, very well, but they did not show up at GG Tour. So,
well, my
we'll
question is there like a clear cut second best deck if Automats are first? Is it just Fire Kings or something, or is it?
I don't think so. I think all the other decks
just,
are. It just depends, right?
Just who shows up that day. Is that? I mean, how do you plan for a tournament then? You just assume assume it's Automats.
That's kind of the problem with linear decks, right? Like every deck right now. We just had the unlimited tournament, and a lot of new players were surprised that, because I would be like, oh, Shiranui right now can banish the Spectral Sword and summon another, tutor. What you typically see with Shiranui, or he could banish the Spirit Master to pop an opponent's monster, or
and they're like,
and they're just like, wait, you can do more than one line of play, and it's like, well, in this meta that we're in right now. No. Every deck really only has one line of play, maybe two, like it kind of 1.5. You just branch off towards the end or something. So unfortunately, it just kind of depends on, did Gaia top? Yes. Did Gaia make it far? Yes. Okay, so they're going to knock out all the Fire Kings and the Thunder Dragons and then lose to an Onomat, and then Onomat wins. Gaia didn't make it? Oh no. Gaia lost somehow to Fire King because they bricked? Oh no, Fire King's going to go to the finals and Automat can't do anything to them. So Fire Kings win,
So is Gaia like the key deck then in the meta? I mean, Automats are destroying people, but it sounds like they're really dependent on Gaia, right?
Gaia is back row decks, even though it's not really a good one right now. But back row decks like Shiranui is super relevant, or Goki, or whatever back row cancer deck is being played is super, super relevant, because that can just hamstring a bunch of decks. Like Resonators can get super, super caught up in that and run out of steam fast. So they're kind of dependent on Harpy Lady. So Harpy Lady is another deck that kind of depends, that shapes the meta up. I don't think it's like just Gaia. That's just kind of like a good example because it happened, right? Like it just happened over the weekend. It's just a war to get to top 32. Once you're in top 32, you can kind of tell what deck's going to win that day, right? Like the moment I saw no Gaias and I saw Fire Kings actually top a tournament again, I was like, yeah, there's way too many Onomats,
right?
And they all are going to lose to Fire King. And then there's Thunder Dragon. Thunder Dragon is if you had like the weapon triangle or rock paper scissors or whatever, right? This beats this beats that, blah blah blah. Thunder Dragons would be in the middle. It doesn't beat anyone, it just fights itself. Did I brick? Did I open my entire best hand? Did I open Levianeer, Melody? I'm gonna beat everybody. Oh, I didn't open anything. Oh, I guess I just lose to everyone. At that point,
it has nothing but good.
They're just a wild card. They could, not show up at all, or they can go take the whole tournament. So
which we saw.
They made it all the way to the finals and ended up losing to. Well, they did one game where his opponent swung into his defense mode monster and lost, but we're not going to talk about that. Talk about that game.
All right. So overall, I don't know. It's a good meta. We'll have to wait and see how dominant Onomats are really going to be.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We did a box review 1 week later. I'm just glad there was something in there that kind of shaped the meta for better or for worse. You know what I mean? We got the one card that brings Digibugs back into the meta. I mean, it's great. I mean, I like that the meta changes every time that a box come out, or it should, at least a little bit. It should have some kind of impact.
I think if a box comes out, the meta should be impacted. Otherwise, if we've already solved the meta, it's not as fun.
Right. And that's what I like. If you follow the power rankings every week, I mean, sometimes you get back to back, but for like the past 2 months, it's been a different winner every week.
I mean, occasionally, I think that's going to keep going.
Yeah.
I don't think Onomats are going to take it 2 in a row, and I think even if they do, I don't think it's going to be like a blowout like last week. Last week
Right.
was just insane. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be like that.
No. All right, guys, let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you like the meta? I think it's pretty good. Like we were saying, I don't know if it's rock, paper, scissors, but maybe it's rolling dice. I don't know what it is. It's just whatever just shows up to the tournament that day, and and it's just like Rice said, it's just a war to get to top 32, and then from there.
It's rock, paper, shotgun, right? All the decks are rock, paper, scissors, and then Thunder Dragon's the shotgun. I don't know who I'm shooting. It might be myself, but let's go. Oh, Lord.
Exactly. So let us know what you think about the meta, and are you enjoying it? I think this is a great meta right now. So we're going to get out of here, but you should get in the Discord because it's free. The tournaments are free, and the new player help is free. I'm Circus. That's Rye.
I'm sorry, Thunder Dragon players. I don't mean it. I love you.
Put the gun down.
Put the gun down.
And we'll see you next time.